see all these beautiful faces. Who here knows who Dolores Cannon is? Oh my goodness, so many of you. That's awesome. There's her pretty face there. So I practice Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique, and we're going to have a little experience today. So we are going to do a past life regression. It's a group past life regression. It's basically a guided meditation. But we're going to follow her methodology on this. So Dolores Cannon, for those of you who don't know her, she was a traditional hypnotherapist working primarily with the military. During her sessions in the early years, both she and her husband did the same thing. He was in the military, but he did it on the side. And anyway, they started getting clients that started reporting experiences in the past. Now, this is in the Midwest, where, Christianity is prominent, and it was in the 60s. And so she didn't have any framework for what was happening with her clients. But she started researching the information that was coming through them and found that it was verifiable. Now, she had a dilemma, right? She didn't know how to handle this properly, but with an incredibly inquisitive mind, she continued pushing forward. She had to take a break to raise her children and went back to it. And what happened thereafter just really blew her mind, and is still blowing other people's minds when they read her books and listen to her speak. What was happening for her is that she would start with one client, and they would bring through incredible information about Jesus and the Essenes, Hiroshima, many different aspects of history. And where one client left off, in the future, she would get a different client, didn't know the other person, they would pick up. So she was like, wow, what is happening? She gathered all of her notes and compiled these into books. And that's how she really created this method. So quantum healing hypnosis, as I said, is a form of past life regression hypnosis. And what the day looks like is you start off and you tell me your whole life story. And it's probably one of the only times in life where you sit down with somebody and tell them everything that you've ever been through. And it can be, daunting if you've had a storied life, or if you've had an easy life. It could be short, doesn't matter. But once we get through that part, I put you under. And what's amazing about it is that no two experiences are the same. I don't know where you're going to go. You don't know where you're going to go. Your higher self is the multidimensional part of yourself that is in a different realm, is the one that actually curates the experience for you. What I do know is that no matter what your experience, it's always connected to things that you're trying to heal or work on or understand about your current life experience. And the way that it unfolds in the session is beyond anything anybody could craft or contrive. There's always such a beautiful bow at the end of this session. The story that you experience, the life experiences that you've had in previous experiences, it could be of a past life, but actually right now, a lot of people are going to the quantum field, which we call the void. And it's literally just black. And a lot of people need peace in their life. They need to have that reset, their nervous system reset of just being neutral. And a lot of people are experiencing that. A lot of people experience going to the place where there's just light. And what I've learned, in fact, I'll just put a little aside here. I've recently listened to the podcast, The Telepathy Tapes. Has anybody listened to that? Okay, yeah. So that podcast is a little off topic, but it's related. It's about nonverbal autistic people who have telepathy. They speak with themselves, among themselves, and their caregivers with telepathy. And they taught me what my clients experience when they go to the light. So they explain that they go to the same place in their dimension, that they're connected to the other people who are nonverbal. And they go to the light, and it's healing, and it's information, and it's downloading. And that gave me an explanation for what happens to my clients when they go to the place of the light. The light could be different colors. It's not really directly correlated with this color means this, but it's healing you. And I always just didn't know what it meant, but thought it was cool that my clients go there. But so you'll have whatever experience your soul needs you to have. And then my clients also, they create a list of questions or topics, things that they want to touch on, heal, understand about their lives, and give that list to me. While you're under hypnosis, after your past life or whatever experience you're going to have, I will ask to speak to your higher self. And your higher self will give you insight on, why did you see that life? Why did you see that experience? It's always connected to something that you need to work through, heal, or understand a little bit better in this current lifetime. And then I ask you the questions that you brought, and your higher self channels the answer through you. So it is an experience of people who don't know how to channel are channeling. And that is way better. Like, so I'm doing psychic readings here. But you know, when you see a psychic, it's like, I'm telling you something from my own experience, what I'm receiving, I'm telling you that, and that can resonate, and that could, you know, bring up emotions and all that. But when you are the one that you're answering your own question, it hits differently, right? This is coming from within you. You are having these experiences. It's so immersive. So this is a really powerful methodology that we can use, and a modality that we can use for healing, for expanding on your spiritual path. A lot of my clients, they're not really quite understanding what's happening, but they know that they're having these awakening experiences, and they're feeling love from a leaf. And they're like, why do I feel connected to the leaf? Right? I mean, anything can happen. But a lot of my clients are in this space of expansion on their spiritual path. And this just ties everything together. So I'm so grateful that I'm able to do the work. And that I encountered Dolores's work when I was going through a healing process, a physical healing process. I had surgery, and I wasn't healing. I was reading her books. And after 3 months of taking drugs, which did not, you know, I can't do that. It just makes me ill. I was like, I can't take another drug. I can't take another drug for pain. I'm going to try this. And while I left the session very skeptical, because I did not feel like I was under hypnosis, I felt very aware. I asked for proof, and I asked for 2 specific things to happen. I also wanted the pain to go away, which is exactly why I went. And the next morning, so the 2 things were, I spoke to my dogs, both of my dogs' soul when I was under. And I asked one, how can I get you to stop barking? Because you bark too much. And 2, my other dog would not go potty in our backyard. I don't know why. She just wanted to go on a walk instead. And I was like, can you please just go in our backyard? Because I can't take you for a walk every time to go potty. So okay, I didn't tell anybody, but that was I asked God, please do this, and then I'll know it's real. And sure enough, next morning, my dog was barking, and he said, use the command silence. And I'm like, it sounds so official, but okay. So I'm like, silence. And he stopped. Now that would never have happened. There's just a bark switch that turns on, and he just keeps going. And then I was like, come on, Lola, let's go potty. And she went. I was like, what? So even though that was the next morning, I still had the pain. 2 weeks later, the pain was gone. And the problem reoccurred in my body, and I had to get further surgery, but that pain never came back. I knew it because I had different symptoms. So it permanently healed that pain. And after that, I was like, okay, I believe. And, you know, long story short, I became a practitioner myself. So today, it won't be that deep of an experience, but I am offering a sale. So today, for people who are in this experience, I'm offering $100 off the session, which is a 20% discount. And it's with a deposit, and then we can set your date while you're here. So if you find that this is an entry to something that you want to explore further, I would encourage you to go for that, because it's a good deal. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to use our senses and imagination. And one of the things that we're taught is that imagination is for kids, right? Big mistake. We need to use both sides of our brain. Logic is awesome. Facts are great. So is imagination. So is creativity. That's what opens up your intuition. That's what opens up your connection to the divine and the miracle of possibility, and, you know, exploring any possibility that you can offer to the world. So it's really important that in this room, it's safe to use your imagination. And when you experience even a light level of hypnosis, like we're going to, go with the very first thing that you encounter. If it's a memory, if it's based in the real world, that's fine. Go with it. Just believe yourself and give yourself permission to indulge in a little fantasy today. That is the doorway and the key to moving through the blockages that our rational and logical brain can offer when we're doing work like this. So if you leave with anything, leave with a little bit of imagination today. This work can be very profound for some. And so sometimes there can be emotional release that happens. That's perfectly okay. And it's okay to let that release. If nothing happens, that's okay too. What we're doing today is we're opening the door to spirit. So tonight, before you go to sleep, if you don't have an experience, ask your guides. Say, give me some answers. Give me an experience in my dreams, and then let me remember it. So we're opening the door to spirit, and it will be open for about 3 days is what Dolores says. But it can extend longer, but take advantage of that, right? So we're opening that door for you today to communicate with the realms beyond, with your higher self. Allow that to happen. This is a process of allowing. Okay. Does anybody have any questions before we get started? Okay. My voice will change a little bit. I'm not going to be able to speak and project as loudly. So if you have hard of hearing, if you're hard of hearing at all, if you want to move your chair up here or come closer, just in case my voice dips down a little bit lower, I will do my best to soothe you and not yell at you. Let's see. Is there anything else that I'm forgetting? Oh, yes. Who here has driven somewhere, gotten there, and said, how did I get here? I don't remember. You're in hypnosis. Who here has been so focused on a television show that their family is speaking to them and you don't even hear? Also hypnosis. I don't know what you're talking about. Or that moment when you wake up and right before you wake up, you become aware that you're coming out of the dream state. You're in a state of brainwave that we get to when we go under hypnosis, when you fall asleep and when you wake up in the morning. So everybody here is under hypnosis several times a day. It's extremely easy. And the final thing I'll say about that is that when Dolores was doing this work in the 60s, most of her clients did not remember and had no conscious recollection. They were under a sort of amnesia when they came out of their hypnosis. Nowadays, we're going to conscious life expos and psychic expos, and we're very well versed in energy and vibes, right? That was not part of the conversation in the 60s when she started doing this work. And so that part of their rational brain had to be totally shut off to be able to have these experiences. But nowadays we've evolved as humanity. And so we can often be very aware during these experiences. And that's where the imagination and the trust your gut comes in. Go with the very first thing that you think of, even if it's just a little wisp. Just be open and allow. Okay. Also, I passed around my flyer. If you didn't get one, it's up here. I also passed around a clipboard to join my list, and you're welcome to join that as well. I do not spam. I'm actually really bad at sending emails, but I will start a little bit more telling people I'm going to be at these type of things, and if I'm having like a promotion or something like that. Okay, so we're going to go through a couple different exercises first. The first two is to warm up that side of your brain that we use during dream state and to visualize. So let's take a seat. Please turn your phones off or turn them on silent so that it doesn't disrupt other people who are having the experience as well. And after you do that, it's okay to close your eyes and just relax. Take a few deep breaths. I'm going to ask you to see something. Just go with it. And when you see these things, I want you to try to put action into it. Use all of your senses. Not only see the picture, but hear something. Try to hear what's going on. Put sound in it. put activity in it. Also try to bring in smells if you can. And fill the scene full of details. It's okay if you don't visually see it also. You can imagine the concept of it. So just relax, close your eyes, and let the pictures come. You're standing on the corner of a very busy street in a big city. There's a lot of traffic. There's a lot of noise, a lot of things going on. See the scene and fill it full of lots of details, sounds, sights, and smells. You're standing on the corner of a busy street in a big city. Now leave that scene and you're standing on a pier, looking out at the water. It's a fishing pier. Maybe there are boats on the water. Maybe there are people fishing, but you're looking out at the water as you stand on a fishing pier. Now leave that scene and you're standing in a train station. You're on the platform of a train station. There's a train coming down the tracks. You could see it and you could hear it. Try to feel the vibration of the platform as the train comes closer and pulls into the station. You're standing on the platform watching a train come in. Now leave that scene and you're riding on a carousel, a merry-go-round, just like you did when you were a child. You can see the horses. You can see them as they go around and around and around. You can hear the music and feel the motion as the horse you are on goes up and down and around and around. You're reliving being on the carousel again. All right, now when you're ready, you're back in the room and you can open your eyes. Was anybody able to see anything? Yeah. What about the, let's see, the first one was the big street, the big city. Anybody see any different kind of cars or old cars or new cars? What kind of cars did anybody see?
I have this thing where I have to use words to try to describe it to people, but I have a C and then I have an imagine. So
yeah,
the majority of the time I can imagine it and it's fuzzy images pulling from creativity or experience.
yes.
But when I see, it's like HD TV color. And that one is so special, but it doesn't always come. So this one was more imaginary.
Yeah. And that's okay. That's the doorway to get you to the other place where you do see. Okay. Anybody see an old train? Oh, go ahead.
I see an image in black and white, and I don't see the cars, but just the noise.
Ah, yeah. Were there buildings there and things?
Yes.
Were they like old buildings or?
Yeah, it looked like home.
Yeah. Very cool. Okay. So when Dolores did this, one of the times, well, actually a couple interesting things about when she was doing this exercise. She had a blind person in the room, and so she was worried that she wasn't being inclusive. But it was interesting because when she was doing this exercise, the blind person was having an experience, and she was like, "How is that even possible?" And she's like, "We've seen in our past lives." So they just carry this information and you don't think about that, right? But she was fascinated. And then when another guy, when she did the carousel, when he was imagining it, his horse fell off the carousel. And he was like, "What? That's weird." Well, it turns out that later on, when we go into the past life, that's how he had died. He fell off a horse. So yeah, so really interesting.
I kept falling into the train. I was like, I don't like this one. I kept falling in, and I was like, go to a different train, Daddy. Go to a different train. Yeah, it was Bart. I was like, oh God. Yeah.
Maybe there's something there you can explore, but yeah.
That was weird. So I thought you'd want to share that.
Yeah. I mean, you just never know what you're gonna encounter, right? Okay, so we're gonna do one more exercise before we do the past life one. Okay. Go ahead and close your eyes again.
I have one quick question.
Oh, yes.
So when you are asking us to, you are standing in the busy street, so what I have interpreted is I go to the experience in my past, whenever I was. So that is the right thing.
Oh, it's perfectly.
Or it's just that we have to just close our eyes and whatever it comes, just
whatever comes. Yeah, everything goes. Nothing's off limits here. So yeah, it's perfectly fine. A lot of people pull references from their memories, and that's perfectly fine. You don't have to have some transcendent experience for it to mean something. A lot of my clients actually go to their current life in the past. Yes. And those are memories that they need to revisit for some reason, for their personal growth or for reconciliation and peace. So yeah, it's really just what comes. Just take the first thing and let it be. Yeah.
So all of mine seem to be future.
Yes, perfectly. I've had those too, twice. Mm-hmm. It's really interesting.
Okay.
How did you know it was the future?
I could see my grandkids.
Oh.
But I don't have grandkids.
Oh. How beautiful. Yeah. Wonderful. Okay, so we're going to close our eyes again and take another deep cleansing breath. Okay. This time, see yourself eating a meal. See the ones around you. And maybe the last meal that you ate today, or a meal from a special occasion when you had family there. But see yourself eating a meal and see the people with you. Try to smell the food and even taste the food if you can, but you're eating a meal. Okay, now when you're ready, you can open your eyes again. And we're going to be heading into the past life portion now. But did anybody experience eating a meal with their family? Mm-hmm. Did anybody taste the food? Mm-hmm. Really? Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, that's might be a little bit harder, right? To kind of experience having a flavor in your mouth that's not really there. But, our minds are very powerful things. So Wonderful. Okay. So the side of the brain that we're activating is the side where our memories and our emotions are stored. Also the side that happens when we dream, right? So it's all about symbols and connect, like who here, I know when I think of my grandma, if I smell her perfume, I mean, it just takes me right back to her, you know? So it's that part, the senses that are connected to previous emotional experiences or relationships. That's kind of what we're exploring today. So this is the part where it's important that people's phones are off, and because people can some people can go deep during this, even though it's a light form of hypnosis. And she does here talk about just relax and let it happen. If it doesn't come, that's okay. Like I said, you can ask for the experience in a dream. A lot of people are more comfortable dreaming, right? That's a more comfortable thing for most people because we do it often. Yeah, and this actually might bring in some interesting dreams for you over the next couple nights as well. So this will be a simple light level because I want you to be conscious enough to write it down if you wish. You know, you can pull your phone out and type in your notes, or even if you have a pen, jot a few notes down. You're welcome to share it afterward until our remaining time is up as well. I always love to hear people's experiences during this format. But like I said, just trust whatever comes in, and you can, it's like a dream. It'll start fading away quickly, so you can write it down if you want to remember it. So just close your eyes and relax, and we'll get started. I want you to see the outside of the place where you currently live, your house, apartment, or whatever it is. You see this every day. See the outside of the place where you live. Now go into the place where you live. See the door, how you go in, and go into the place that you live. What is the first room that you come into? What's in that room? Now go into the kitchen. Where's the stove located? The refrigerator. Where do you eat your meals? Now go into the bedroom where you sleep. The bedroom where you sleep. What furniture is in that room? Fill it full of details. What furniture is there? What color are the walls? What pictures are on the wall? Now I want you to find a wall that does not have a door in it. A wall that does not have a door. And make a door in the wall. Make a door appear in the wall that normally does not have a door. Notice the shape, the color, the size, whether it has a casing around it, what kind of handle it has, if it has one. Look at all the details of the door, and in a few moments, we're actually going to open the door. Open the door. When you open the door, you see steps going down, down, down in front of you. We're going to begin walking down the steps. With each step that you take down, you become more and more relaxed, more and more connected to the other experiences that you've had as a soul. Continue going down the steps. At the bottom of the steps is a long hallway going away from you. A long hallway. Walk down the hallway. There is enough light that you can see where you're going. Continue walking down the hallway. It's a very long hallway. But in the distance, you can see at the end of the hallway, there's an opening. You can see the light down there. there's an opening at the end of the hallway. Walk toward that opening. Walk down the hallway toward the opening at the end. Now you've reached the opening at the end of the hallway, and you're standing in front of the opening. This is the doorway, the opening to the past. You know when you step through that opening, you will be in another time, another place where there is information to help you in the very best way possible. In a moment, we will step through the opening and find out what's on the other side. You know when you step through the opening, you will be in another time, another place where there is information to help you in the very best way possible. On the count of 3, we're going to step through the opening. 1, 2, 3. Now you have stepped through the opening. Are you inside or outside? Become aware of your surroundings. Look around you. Get familiarized with where you are. Is it day or night? Inside or outside? As you do that, I want you to now become aware of yourself, of your body. What kind of clothes are you wearing? Are you male or female? Or neither? Are you young or old? Do you have a body? And if so, become very familiar and aware of this new body. What color is your skin? What are you wearing on your feet? Do you have any jewelry on? Now go to the place where you live in that new body, the place where you eat and where you sleep. Stand in front of that place. What does it look like from the outside? In a moment, we'll go inside. Stand in front of the place, find the entrance, and go inside this place where you live. What rooms are there? Are there separate rooms or is it all one? Do you cook your food inside or outside? Where is it that you cook your food? Where is it that you eat a meal? What kind of food are you eating? Is there anyone sitting with you, around you, or eating with you? Is there anyone living with you in this place? If there is, you'll see them with you now and be able to identify their connection with you. See if anyone is sitting with you and identify their connection with you. All right, now leave that scene. I want you to see what it is that you do. How do you spend the majority of your time? Do you have a job, an occupation? What takes up the majority of your time? See yourself doing it now. All right, now leave that scene and move to an important day, a day that you consider to be important. When something is happening, you're moving to an important day. You are there now. What's happening? What do you see? Now leave that scene and move forward again to another important day. Another day when something else is happening that you consider to be important. You've gone forward to another important day. What is happening now, and what do you see? All right, now leave that scene and let's move forward one more time. Another important day. A day that you consider to be important when something else is happening. It's another important day. What do you see now? What's happening? Now leave that scene, and I want you to move forward to the last day of your life in this lifetime we're looking at. The last day of your life, and let's see what happens to you. It won't bother you at all. You can watch it as an observer if you want to. You've gone forward to the last day of your life. You can see what is happening to you on that day. It's the last day of your life in that lifetime. Now, whatever has already happened, and you're on the other side of it. You're out of the body, and you're on the other side of it. It's already happened. From that position, you can look back at the entire lifetime and see it all from a different perspective. Was there anyone in that lifetime that you know now in your present lifetime? If there is, you will make the connection. Every lifetime has a lesson. Every lifetime has a purpose. As you looked at that lifetime, what was the lesson to be learned? What did you learn from that lifetime? Trust anything that comes into your mind. All right, now we're going to turn around and we're going to come back into this room. I'm going to count to 10, and on the count of 10, you will be wide awake and feeling wonderful all over, remembering everything you've seen so you could write it down. It will be in your memory so you could write it down. You're becoming conscious of this room again. You're back here in this room, and as I count to 10, you'll be back in your body and can open your eyes, remembering what you have seen. 1, 2. You're beginning to breathe a little faster. The blood's beginning to circulate a little faster because you're beginning to wake up now. 3, 4. Becoming aware of the physical body, very much aware of the physical body. You could move your arms and legs around and get the blood circulating again because you are back here now and you're beginning to wake up now. 5, 6. You're becoming aware of the sounds in the room. You know there are people sitting around, and very much aware of your physical surroundings because you're oriented back here in this now, in this time, in this place, and you're waking up now. 7, 8. You're coming up very nicely now, very nicely. 9, 10. Wide awake, feeling wonderful all over, and remembering everything that you saw so you can write it down. So I'm going to give you a few minutes if you want to write it down, and then we'll have an opportunity to share.
Okay.
What are yours? Not coming out. Did you get that? Oh, really? That was your last meal, so that makes sense.
All right. Would anybody like to share their experience? Well, who had an experience? Raise your hand.
I can say mine. She was saying the family meal. My family used to go to Boncheros all the time in Hayward, and it closed years ago. And I went right back with my whole entire family, all my cousins, my dad, my grandparents.
That chicken was bomb.
Yeah, I was like, give me the meatballs and the lasagna. When you said taste it, I was like, like I could literally taste it.
Awesome.
So that was cool.
Did you? And so I bet you those are good family memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Mine was kind of scary. Because, I mean, I see my grandparents' houses for fighting because they both passed away. So I see myself living there. And it's right now, we're fighting a family member over. Yeah.
I see.
But I vision it.
So you went to the future. Wow. Interesting. Great. Thank you. Did anybody go to this lifetime? Earlier times you went? Yeah.
I was seeing a vision of a Victorian home, and I was in a long skirt with a bustle in the back.
Wow.
You know, carousel, almost like I was painting. And I didn't really feel any person that I may have known. My mind was just searching for people that I knew now, friends popping in and out, but I didn't.
Yeah, that's okay.
Focus on any particular person.
What happened during that lifetime when you went to the next scene and the next scene?
The death, I just felt my daughter with me.
Oh, the bug likes me. Okay. And did you learn anything from that life? Did you anything?
The occupation I was sewing. Victorian time.
Oh. Do you like to sew in this lifetime or anything? Okay. Wonderful. Oh my gosh, this bug really loves me. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else want to share? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I saw myself entering like a castle, an English manor or something, and I'm just walking. I have like a brown knickered suit with shoes with a big gold buckle on it.
Oh, wow.
And so I hear my feet clacking and echoing, and then when I went to the dining hall, it was a long table and there was a bunch of kids on one side. They all looked to be about the same age and they were all in some kind of uniform, but they
Wow.
were black.
Okay.
And so I'm standing there, I'm like, what is my relationship with this? Because you said your family, but they're all the same age. And then you said, what's your occupation? And I'm in a classroom and I'm teaching.
Wow.
And so I'm teaching everybody, all sorts of different people, different things. And then you were saying about outside, and I heard like cannons, and then I saw smoke, and then horses and people, like there was some kind of war going on.
Oh, wow.
And then, so I just remember going back inside, and then the last day, I just remember looking up and seeing the ornate ceiling.
Oh,
And that was the last thing I remember.
how cool. You didn't know how you died?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Did they say, like when I said, what did you learn from this lifetime? Did anything come up?
It was, I felt like an activist.
Okay.
That was like
Interesting.
something that I was not normally done at that time.
Okay. Yeah. Very cool. Thank you. Well, is there anybody else who wants to share? If not, thank you so much for coming. I hope you had at least a relaxing experience. And remember, as I said, even if you didn't have an experience right now, ask your guides later tonight if you want to, ask a question or ask to have an experience before you go to bed, and be ready when you wake up to write in your dream journal. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.